you're a bit of an Invictus Gaming hater, Kev. That's all it seems like to me. You're really on that TYLOO hype train, trying to justify that 100%.
Okay.
No. Let's just see how this plays out, because I think there are two worlds.
You need to give me one segment when there's a VPN issue. You need to give me a segment on why I don't like Invictus Gaming. But we'll get to the game.
We'll definitely get a chance to do that, because I'm sure there's going to be some pauses.
This series is going to be absolutely cooked. I'm telling you guys, this series is going to break our brain, 100%.
Can't break your brain if you don't have one like me. So
Slowly's up close with this CZ. The man's been raid bossed. We saw that happen to Attacker before. Anti-flash position from Zhaosage at the top of Banana, but he's going to vacate that part of the map, at least for the time being. As it seems like Invictus are quite happy to be going back towards this A site. Destroyer getting the Moto smoke ready. And I'm assuming he will chimney flash, smoke on jungle. So that does isolate Attacker onto this site until Dan King slips back into position.
Well, somebody just managed to get the first entry in the flashbang. So it's a bit of a messy brawl, but Dan King's still on the site. Needs to slap a new clip in there, but Zhaosage is going to just reload at the wrong time and flying. He's in the pit position, a very strong position, mind you, but unfortunately both TYLOO members bearing down on him. So TYLOO do manage to take the pistol. They rotate in time. They spot out what's going on in the back of somebody's push.
And again, Dan King. For an AWPer, this guy is phenomenal at Inferno. Phenomenal. Usually this is the map where the AWPer just goes, I sleep. But for Dan King, Inferno, that's a wake-up time. That's a real shit.
Oh, that's probably what we're going to get out of this game, Pilsky.
This game is going to be an absolute mess. I'm ready. I'm so ready for it. Force buyout from Invictus into the flashbang play, setting slowly in. Zhaosage is miles ahead of the rest of his team. Absolutely no trade potential, and then Fever just gets banged through the bloom of the smoke. And Invictus have lost 2 of these picks pretty much for free. Unanswerable, untradeable.
Dan King just crab walking in the middle open there, but he's got someone from Diggity that's not somebody, but
that's how good Dan King is at Inferno. Yeah, he makes his own angles. Yeah. That's an angle now.
Oh, Destroyer is just thinking about how best to utilize this Deagle and armor, but slowly just double dinks him just like that. So
that's not good. 5 alive. Now they farm with the MP9s.
It's not going to stop them. There's AKs, and you know what they're going to be doing. Let's be real.
You start to get the sense maybe that Invictus's rougher form could be rearing its ugly head again here against TYLOO. And if that Invictus shows up to today's game, then I'm probably on board with Mac. You know, it's kind of like 100% for TYLOO. But
yeah,
there's still a long way in this series. You know, it's only 2 rounds. I don't want to call it anywhere.
I think Invictus needs some of those clutches that just get the blood pumping. You know what I mean?
No, they
some
just
of the big boy rounds.
Okay, they're just collapsing into Nana at the moment. It's going to be a slaughter first because, yeah, it's 3-0. Not bad. TYLOO decided just to run at them.
MP9's getting a lot of money there. That's the dream start to the CT side. That you couldn't have done better. Handful of SMG kills, 5 alive. Now you got a bit of a bonus.
And TYLOO's going to do it again.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I really think so. Look at look at the spawns on the MP9 players. They got the front spawns for the most part. Yep. Surely you see Dan King just flying down mid or. Sorry, I'm looking at Summer. So he's actually not flying down mid instead. A bit more of a tempered approach. Victus on the rifles now. Victus, especially on Inferno, which a lot of the time is their map pick, is just one of those teams where you do not know what you're going to get. Sometimes you see just phenomenal, like 10 rounds in a row. And sometimes they really look like they're struggling to work out what they're trying to do. So far, so good. Bit of Carpet's control. Now thinking about Bracket. Playing retake on Banana. Now that the CT utility has elapsed, they will go back for some control of that. Destroyer and Zhaosage working together there.
Really important for Invictus to win this round, just to establish something.
Just look at the time, though. They got a lot of utility, but they don't have much map control until they take Banana there.
Dan King's just going to flash into mid as well, and there it is. That's going to be just a little quick peek.
Somebody still has a smoke here. It's 38 seconds. He's going to smoke the choke point at Banana. Dan King's coming over with a counter flash. I think this round's just over before anything's happened.
Has to be some great entries, and it still can happen, though.
It can.
Yeah, lots of util for Invictus. They're going to be sending it all into the B bomb site, and that should signal for TYLOO to drop their own smoke. Somebody will do just that and wait for the push from Invictus. There he is with the FAMAS in hand, but only a 1-for-1, and so far not a terrible entry from Invictus, but slowly up on the flower pots. Never mind, it's Dan King. Forget the AWP. Get an M4 in his hand, and he's the Inferno master. TYLOO 4-0.
So can I talk about reasons why Invictus wasn't favoured in this matchup yet, guys, or is that not convincing enough?
You do what you want, Captain.
They're getting Dan King to...
This is starting to look a little bit painful now for Invictus, but look, admittingly, there's only been one buy round, right? It's pistol, all right, that kind of went 50-50 in terms of the aim, worked a little bit more for TYLOO at the end of the day. Force buy got comprehensively shot down, but that buy round didn't look close.
So here's my problem, Kev. Okay. TYLOO has played Dust 2 once. Yeah, Dust 2 is quite a decent map for Invictus. They picked Inferno in this series.
Yeah.
A map that TYLOO knows how to play. Like, I think that's just a veto mistake. I really do. Especially if they get trekked on this map right now.
Look, there's still... I think there's still plenty of time for Invictus to recalibrate so far.
For sure, but like imagine this Dust 2. Like when was the last time you saw TYLOO play Dust 2?
Has been a while.
They're decent at it. They're okay at it, but they just don't have very many reps at the moment. Invictus has played it quite a bit.
Well, there's a lot of utility on the back of these TYLOO players, but they're not going to drop it in time. But Attacker is going to just defend his position quite well, but the Deagles do come out, and now the double swing, but it doesn't matter because Summers just dueling it out. MP9 farms up, switches to the sidearm, and gets the headshot as well. Predicts exactly what is going on, and TYLOO up very quickly to a 5-zip.
It's the TYLOO montage highlight reel right now. Well, second buy round for Invictus. Yes, cool, they're getting buy rounds, Kevin, but like, man, look how much money TYLOO has. It's insane. It's going to take so long for Invictus to get back into this game, man. A lot of damage on the molly.
And they just dropped 2 smokes as well at the same time.
Don't worry. They don't need those. They're going to execute the B site with 10 seconds to go.
No, they're actually pushing through these smokes, and I think they've managed to time this quite well. The single flashbang can actually break this hold. I don't totally realize what's
hold
going on.
Hold on though. Somebody with the flash for slowly. This is the special. This is the TYLOO special. The perfect timing. Luckily, Bottle is just spamming away full through the flash.
Somebody just re-peeks it.
Of course he does. It's somebody. What do you mean?
Oh, that's why my alias.
This is how TYLOO plays the B site.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't told you about my alias, right?
I do know what you're referring to. I don't think that's the broadcast-friendly one.
No, it actually is a broadcast-friendly one. Okay, Bottle's going to be not mollied out. Doesn't spread far enough.
3 players on this B site for TYLOO. Fully stacked here.
Summer and somebody are going to be greeting them as somebody is going to spray down, pushes through the Molotov. He wants 4 kills. He will be able to grab another one.
They haven't cleared Attacker out of New Box.
They're not going to suspect him over here. Even they try to clear it. CSGO, he's pretty good in these clutch situations, but Attacker, I mean, that's what I mean, is that you can't really count CSGO out of this situation. He is really solid in Dan King. Obviously on the rotate, just kicking back and relaxing for now. But CSGO just can't land the shot, unfortunately. Dan King's been a bit too solid, and TYLOO just another round that goes their way, even as they lose another player. Not much that you can really do there for Invictus. I mean, they don't get the bomb plant, but plenty of money in their bank account means that they can actually force buy over here. They can, I mean, they could have gone for a few AKs, so decided to do the sensible thing and just grab a couple of SMGs as well as pistols and utility just to enhance their chances of getting into the site.
Well, there isn't that much incentive for them to really force everything in here because they can't really break TYLOO's economy. But they do want to give themselves a bit of a chance. Not that it seems they're going to have much of that. TYLOO is absolutely wrecking them.
They're just pushing at the moment. TYLOO just had two players just completely send it down, and I don't think somebody realizes that Destroyer was over here, but you can't catch slowly and somebody off guard. This is starting to look really painful, where TYLOO actually starting to go no respect mode.
And that's a big problem. That's why I was saying a little bit earlier in the half, like, it's really important for Invictus to actually win that first gun round, or not necessarily the first gun round, but maybe like the second gun round even. Get something on the board, otherwise you're going to let TYLOO get to that point where they just don't care. And when TYLOO doesn't care is almost when they're playing their best Counter-Strike domestically within Asia. You know, that's not going to work overseas, it's not going to work when they play internationally, but when they disrespect you and they really just run at you, it's something that a lot of the Asian teams can't deal with.
Somebody's actually running down mid now. It's just like, what is going on? They're literally just sending it full down mid. Dan King doesn't get punished. It was a good flashbang from Invictus, but somebody also is going to be blinded out, but he still wins at least a single aim duel. And finally, there's an advantage for Invictus. A 4-on-2 that surely they need to convert right now as they're barreling down into the A site.
This has to be the one. This has to be the round for Invictus. Summer on the site, he is spotted out by Flying, and that was the last sort of sliver or maybe ray of hope that TYLOO had of winning that and bringing it to an 8-0 scoreline. But finally, Invictus have an inroad, and I guess it's about time because the half is still salvageable, and they'll be able to come back into the swing of things, maybe even make it to 8. That would be a far-fetched idea, but stranger things have happened.
They've got off to a very slow start, and dropping guns right and left is definitely not going to give them many favours. But a good round to get kick-started, at least into the C side. Let's see if they can grind back this half, make it look decent.
Yeah, a couple of good entries from Invictus. I can't complain about that at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think those are going to be some critical factors, like Xiao Saga in particular, over towards Banana. How he goes against the aggression slowly, and somebody just loves to just re-aggress, re-peek, flash onto the line and take some fights. If you're familiar with that, you know how to play against it. That can be a big thing you can punish. Bring some advantages for your team, bring some banana control.
This is the most passive play I've seen from TYLOO in quite a while. They actually haven't pushed to car, they haven't pushed top mid. They're sitting and they're waiting for something from Invictus, as Invictus also themselves just dropping a bit of utility and keeping TYLOO guessing at this stage, but they will be able to take some Nana control, which is a bit of a tick in my mind, is that they take Nana control without bleeding out too much HP. And I feel like TYLOO, their utility, is starting to get a little bit predictable, and they need to change up their routine a little bit.
Well, at least some apartments control for Invictus and a little bit of banana control to work with as well. They're certainly stopping TYLOO from playing that absolute no respect gameplay. They're sitting back in their sights.
And they haven't run down the clock too much. So their options are still open to them.
Yeah, but TYLOO's also still got 4 out of 5 smokes, 2 Molotovs, and that timer is ticking away.
Smoke onto jungle side, Molotov onto dig. 2 flashes, there's the bracket utility. TYLOO don't really react too much just yet. Just the Molotov onto dig. Now it's the walk back to Nana. Somebody again has held this smoke the whole time. Slowly's got a smoke and a Molotov. Just drops that smoke at the 30-second mark. Slowly's got the Molotov to drop behind it. And Invictus again, they have to go through a smoke. Viva's going to have to throw the God Flashes, and they're going to have to be good.
Weren't quite good enough last time. Slowly starts well, and somebody helps him out. Spamming through the smoke, it's gone perfectly for TYLOO. They might even be able to get away with 5 guns alive here. There's 6 seconds left for Invictus, and it's just fallen to bits. Destroyer's upheld his end of the bargain. He's caught one of the rotators on A, but Invictus just do not make that entry to B look pretty at all.
They just don't seem to understand how to play against a team that's holding their util. You know, they need to just contact in there. They need to flash onto the line and punish slowly, and somebody force out those smokes, apply a little bit more pressure. Because it's lost them 2 pretty important rounds.
Oh, they can still buy up into this. I mean, not all the utility in the world, but they can still work with this at the end of the day. But for TYLOO, it's just back to winning ways at this point in time. I think a bit of a misthrown Molotov is... I don't know... there was a Molotov that was thrown towards jungle very early on.
From the T's or CTs?
From the CTs, actually. So Dan King takes a little bit of it. I don't know exactly who threw it, but bit of a mistake. Not going to be too costly as Invictus wasn't rushing anywhere in particular. Slowly does actually cop a leg from Viva. That's finally a bit of a positive start for Invictus.
Big gap in that smoke. That could be a freebie for Dan King, as if he needed any more opportunities.
Well, takes advantage of that one. He's got a player in the cutout here as well, so the job gets even more difficult for Invictus. They think they've got bracket control, but they don't. Viva does wait for the repeak, the inevitable repeak from Dan King. Summer, well, he does catch Xiao Saga off guard just a little bit. Attacker also falling, so there's an inroad for Invictus Gaming, and to rely on somebody. And Summer rotating across to make this retake happen for TYLOO. But they're very, very quick. Exchanging some guns. Summer down on 19% of his HP. Try and boost somebody up as well. That seems to have worked, at least insofar as they've got the information where flying is, but it might not net them a frag. I have to expect that Viva's on the bomb site. If you've got a player in pit, there should be that crossfire established, and TYLOO will be looking to break that pretty quickly. Working their way forward. Viva is spotted out. Somebody does land the shot, and now Summer, 19 HP, can't win the duel, and flying finally gets himself another round here. 2 up on the board for Invictus. And I kind of like that setup actually from Invictus, where they set Viva on the line with the AWP, expecting the repeat from Dan King. I mean, you have all these memes about somebody pushing and repeaking and that kind of thing, but I feel like the one that embodies that now in TYLOO is actually Dan King with the AWP.
I mean, we said that when he joined the roster. We were like, people didn't know how Dan King played, who aren't familiar with the region. I used to just say, he's like somebody, but he's an AWPer. Just runs around, aggression, free peaks. Big HE nades here for TYLOO. Going to help them with the cleanup if they can actually convert. And slowly, as solid as ever from the sandbags. The man never really seems to fail the test whenever he's over there. The one-way there for Viva. Again, punishing an aggressive play, giving Invictus a chance, and now into a 3-on-2. Re-aggression from TYLOO, actually. Dan King on the line, not something you'd expect, so Flying is going to go down for free.
Beaver is going to be waiting for that repeak. Is Dan King going to give it this time is the real question.
I think so, surely.
Well,
he's heard the scope now, so I think he's just going to sit on the off angle.
I mean, he's pushing in at the stage. He heard the scope and he's just crab walking in. What do you say about that?
Well, there goes the money for Invictus. And they are getting absolutely trashed right now. This veto has not worked out for them.
I don't know how much of it also is that TYLOO, I think, have just come up to kind of play. One thing that I wanted to say earlier on is that TYLOO have just been winning too many tournaments where I just kind of go, maybe there's that mental aspect where they have to keep winning. Now they've lost a few, there's less pressure. It's like, all right, guys, it's like, if you lose, that's fine, but you might as well go back to your winning ways. And it's just like a straight send down mid as they read the situation perfectly and they just punish him for it.
Yeah, this is psychological warfare from TYLOO, undoubtedly.
Yep.
This is what you do when you want to show Invictus that you are the better team, and they've got no bloody chance of winning this game.
Pretty much.
You guys keen to go home early, or?
Yes.
I mean, Dust 2, you know, like Dust 2 is still not over just yet.
I tell you what.
Dust 2?
Yeah.
They never picked Dust 2. That's the whole thing, Kevin.
True, actually. Now thinking about it, it's like, oh, we're going on to Vertigo next. There's a slight chance there.
I'm at a bit of a conundrum here in what I want to actually see from this game. Because on one hand, I do want to see the grand final be TYLOO and Vici having that one map advantage. Because we have been robbed from that grand final in the Perfect World tournaments, with TYLOO being knocked out in the lower bracket. But on the other hand, I kind of want to see Invictus show up to this series and really put TYLOO to the sword. It's obviously not happening at the moment. So, yeah, maybe we are going to be going home pretty quickly. At least if that happens, we'll get a good grand final. You know, there is that to take solace in.
Interesting setup from TYLOO where they've got the double AWP running, and they've actually posted two close, like one close rifler at Nana.
They've got a lot of control of Nana. Slowly can probably just push as soon as this A hit comes out. Needs to be careful though. Zhaosage very aware that that flank could be a thing. Deep smoke makes it a little bit more obvious as well. You can see he's so aware. Slowly he's trying to one way up on top of the logs, but does fall back.
Uncharacteristic mist coming out from Dan King is now pressure going to be levied a little bit into jungle, but Invictus really letting time tick away right now. 40 seconds left. Where are they going to go is a real question.
And how are they going to go as well, Kev? They've got a smoke and a flash. That's it. They are very close to the A-bomb
slowly
site,
just
but
drop the bomb carrier as well.
a big push from TYLOO. Straight down mid. Bottle can't pick it up. Well, he can, but he loses it straight away. And TYLOO, you know, it continues. It's the same as what we saw at the start of this half, where TYLOO is just happy to do whatever they want. And it seems that whatever they want is going to work.
Well, I mean, look on the bright side of Invictus. You can kind of go, it's like, look, if Vici were down 4-11 each half and they could come back, we can do the same. So, but I think the story is very different on how it eventuated.
I don't think so. They don't have Advent to help them with the calls.
Might be just a bit of a faster takeover into Nana, where Zhaosage is going to be applying pressure with the Mac 10, but he just gets absolutely domed by somebody.
There's not really much to say, to be honest. Like Invictus, they're trying to do their things, but they're just not winning very many of these duels. There's one of them. That's a good shot from Destroyer. High time, this man had a big round. We know he's capable of it. Slowly trying to buy time for the rotations to come in, and does have a crossfire with the player in CT, but Destroyer, he's getting warmed up now. This is a man who can have an impact round or two, even if he's having a quiet game, and the bomb finally starting to get back onto the site. That might be the difference maker, unfortunately.
Well, we'll see what Dan King does here, and as you can expect, he will just continue to walk around that corner.
I think Viva's only kills are holding angles for Dan King to peek him.
I mean, that's fine. That's all you need to do against Dan King. Look, he's done it again, waiting for attacker. This time, Bottle walks in front of him.
What a round from Destroyer.
Invictus do win the round, yes.
TYLOO, see, 4-11, it's a magic number, I'm telling you.
Magic for who?
Magic for the comeback.
For Vici yesterday. Okay, getting towards the tail end of this half. Let's see if they do end up getting the 4-11 scoreline. Double AWPs still out here for TYLOO. Pretty good buy through here for Invictus. They do have Viva on the angle holder 3000. It's essentially what it is when this man's wielding it.
Oh, well.
Dip up from the chicken pit. Doesn't manage to catch Dan King off too much. Just cops a little bit of damage. And Invictus again, slowly walking around the map. Beaver walking through carpets with the AWP. If he goes aggressive, tries to pick that jungle rotate line, that could give him a kill. Zhaosage giving up that banana. And it looks like Invictus keen to get this execute kick started again.
Well, they've got plenty of util to make it happen. 2 flashes onto jungle side, but no push yet from Invictus. They do get Viva and Bottle established. See how watching dig side, see whether or not there'll be any re-aggression from TYLOO, which doesn't present itself. So Invictus will continue to make their way forward. Beauty is, TYLOO are feeling no pressure at all on B. So they've rotated an extra player into CT. That's where Slowly is at the moment. And Invictus going around the world, but TYLOO have kind of called that somebody with the AWP is an interesting prospect. And see what he can do. That's not too shabby at all. But that's even better. Viva catches him as he tries to bunny hop away into construction, and Invictus have control of the B bomb site.
Yeah, going to put that bomb down. Playing post plant from Nana with an open plant is pretty strong, but there is 2 smokes here for TYLOO. Unfortunately, they're smoked off in CT, and you've got a player in ruins as well as flying on the rifle, ready to jump up and fight from main.
So much util for Invictus to play with here as well. 2 Molotovs, a couple of flashes. They should really just be able to weight that timer down, and TYLOO gets timed out of the round. Flying is going to get his incendiary or his molly down at the perfect time. It's in fact a double molly on CT, which means TYLOO at this point, they have to go through construction. And TYLOO are not going to be having a good time with it. They run right into Viva, tanking with the AWP, no time available. 4-11 will be the scoreline. It's great work from TYLOO, but Invictus put a couple together at the end of the half, so maybe there's something to be said for them.
We watch the waves wash over the shore. The horizon was blinding. This could be the end of the world as we know it. Oh, this could be the end of the world as we know it. And we never thought we'd get this far. I'm gonna stay true. These songs I wrote for you. Oh, they make me blue. They make me blue. What they say to me. You wanted to be free. Do you believe? I want you to believe. I want you to believe. I want you to believe. In paradise we burn through the night, getting brighter. And the sun never goes, and the sun never goes, and the sun never goes, and the sun. This could be the end of the world as we know it. Oh, this could be the end of the world as we know it. We never thought we'd get this far. I'm gonna stay true. These songs I wrote for you. Oh, they make me blue. They make me blue. What they say to me. You wanted to be free. Do you believe? I want you to believe. I want you to believe. I want you to believe. I'm gonna stay true. These songs I wrote for you. Oh, they make me blue. They make me blue. What they say to me. You wanted to be free. Do you believe? I want you to believe.
Well, something of a dominant half for TYLOO, but since there's only 3 players right now at their PCs, I'd suggest they might find it a little difficult to play this second half. Hopefully these boys trotting back on in are feeling well rested and ready, because Invictus were able to put a couple of rounds together at the end of the half. I don't know if that gives you any faith at all, Kev. I have to imagine it doesn't, based on what your preconceived biases might have been coming into this game. But CT side, Invictus Gaming wins pistol. What do you reckon?
All I'm just saying is that so far what I'm seeing when TYLOO up 11-4, they've actually lost both games. This is actually looking...
That's true.
This is the perfect scenario for Invictus at this stage, is that you lull TYLOO into a sense of like overconfidence. Your players start warming up a little bit over here. We know what they're what they're capable of.
Could not be better, could it?
And the problem with TYLOO that I have sometimes, their strategies honestly aren't that good. It's a lot of the time they're kind of carried away by individual performance, where the players are just able to get a few cool shots here and there. and it allows them to win rounds. But now it's going to be a collapse, obviously, onto the A site, which is working quite well so far. Able to flush out a few of these players, and they should be able to get this bomb plant down for the 4 and 3.
Yeah, try to put themselves in a solid post plant. No real grenades on either side, so a difficult retake to be sure, especially with one player in towards the midi pit. You got one in boiler. Very hard to progress up dig or jungle for the CTs to try to get into this site.
Well, 3 on 4. They're going to have to give it a crack. At least they've got a defuse kit, so there's that bit of extra time. But how easy it's going to be here for Invictus, I'd imagine.
That's
not really.
Yeah, like one of those unbreakable crossfires, really, especially with the pistols. Very, very hard done by there for Invictus, and I think they're just going to have to try to force themselves out of a tough situation with the pistol armor. TYLOO pretty much dominating them, and it just begs the question. I keep repeating myself, but really, like, what are you doing? You have no business picking Inferno. They're going to save. They're going to full save. That's very curious. I haven't seen that in a while on Inferno of all maps. Reason being is because, like, it's almost like you have just as good of a chance with the pistol armor that you do with just an M4 armor low buy. Like, even if you full save here, you're not going to have access to the utility in the 3rd round buy in comparison to force buying the 2nd round and then going for that 4th round buy. Which is why you see most teams go for the force buy, because, you know, you'd rather have pistol armor with a couple of grenades than M4 armor and a couple of grenades, and then just go for that 4th round buy where you'll have a much better buy and you give yourself a decent chance of winning that 2nd round anyway. But Invictus doesn't want to go for that, so we'll see how much success they have in the next round. That'll be the test, really.
Well, 3 players over at the B bomb site. It's about as good as it's going to get for Invictus in a round like this, but USPs only. Don't really see this going too well, and you can just see the difference for TYLOO when they're entering that B bomb site and you swap to the CTs holding the angles. They're all just fully flashed. And we didn't really get that same sense when Invictus was making their way into the B bomb site on their own T side.
Half the time they were running through a smoke, mate, with like 20 seconds to go. TYLOO's not interested in any of that. They go when they want to go. All right, so this is what I was talking about. We got 4 players with 4.7, which is actually on the higher side than you'd expect, to be honest, in that 2nd round buy. So they've been quite responsible with their money, not investing in any upgraded pistols. A lot of them have to go for head armor here because there is a UMP in play. So yeah, almost no Molotovs, which on Inferno is going to make it very hard to take that banana control or hold some of these pushes. So I think if you play a straight up round here as Invictus, you're going to have a tough time, really. You have to go for some aggression. They're going to cop a nade very early on. They're contesting banana a little bit, but like they can't take banana control. They just don't have the utility for it. They don't have the flashes, the HE nades, the mollies. So they are going to go for a passive setup on that side, boost 1 on 2nd oranges, and now over towards the A side of the map, they don't really have very much info. They're just relying on this graveyard pit site crossfire. TYLOO, they take bracket, they take some carpets control. They have a pretty superior utility advantage. I think the difference maker really could be flying here because he's got a smoke and a Molotov. If placed in the correct position at the correct time, could kind of be the difference maker here for TYLOO. But seems like they want to go back towards B. Zhao Sage still has his smoke. Viva has a counter flash for the pit.
Still just kind of feels like TYLOO's playing with Invictus at the moment, you know? They go into brackets,
okay.
Invictus feels like they're going to go to A, and then now they're back to B, and then now
They're just
back
trying to keep
A.
the rotations honest, just limit the information that Invictus has. I actually love that from TYLOO. Smoke onto CT, it's pulled. Bottle, he doesn't know, they don't know what's happening, essentially.
Well, Bottle's gambled correctly. Staying on the A bomb site, but perhaps too little too late. Flying gets this incendiary down. Someone goes through it, has to hide in the smoke. It's a 1-for-1 for somebody, and Destroyer from Graveyard is putting in work. That's huge. He's gotten rid of Dan King as well. And he's the only remaining player on the A bomb site. Eventually gets drive-by. They don't have time to plant the bomb, surely. No, they've just got there.
Wow, he even runs on site.
He got it safe as well. So, slowly... Yeah, well, there was nothing slow about him just there. 2-on-2, though, for the retake. Viva has pushed quite far forward, but he's locked behind the fire for the moment. I think Xiao has spotted slowly on the bomb site, which means Summer is the last player alive in the one-on-one, but decides to peek. Xiao was on 5 HP, and TYLOO will win the round.
It was a winnable round for Invictus, mostly thanks to Destroyer from that graveyard position, but I don't know. I think that's kind of a case study of why you don't third round buy an Inferno. Like, you could just see they had no opportunity to go for map control at any point. Like, they couldn't take banana. They couldn't really work out what TYLOO was doing until they were basically hitting the site, and it's basically multi-frag or die from that position. If you're not going to go aggressive and try to go for some flash peak plays, I don't think you've really got a high percentage of taking that round away. Now TYLOO going up 14-4. Got the half buy out from Invictus this time. Going to try to get something done with the pistols, but yeah, I don't think this game is going anywhere quickly for Invictus. I think they've just been too slow to start, really. And I think they've kind of screwed up in the veto already before the game even started.
Oh, nice little shot, though, to at least answer onto Dan King. But the trades are still coming forward for TYLOO at the moment. Summer lurking as well. Spots out a few of these players on the rotate. Tags Destroyer down low, but does gift over an 8k at the very least for Destroyer to use. And it's been one of the standouts for Invictus so far. Obviously, it's not the ideal round for Invictus to pick up, but they've done some damage. They can still go for it. They've got the kit on Destroyer, but he's rotated a really long way around, and he's barely going to get there to kind of bring the AK into use. Still going to persist forward for attack. Oh, traded out. Viva, 2 nice shots now, but just going to get sprayed through the smoke and Destroyer. There's no chance you can commit to that crossfire. Unfortunately, he rotated the long way around to see if he could catch someone off guard, but unfortunately, it's not going to work. To his detriment, he's able to carry at least an AK and a kit forward, but it does actually give a few match points now for TYLOO. Comprehensive lead, 15-4. No, surely they can't squander this.
Don't think so. I don't know what to say about this game. I think the only thing I really can do is just load up hltv.org and have a look at TYLOO's Dust 2. They got a 100% win rate. They've only played it once.
Well, let's hope that Invictus can get at least a couple of gun rounds here to get some confidence back in, because you don't want to be shut out here without getting a single round, especially when you had a couple of buy rounds to work with. This is one of them. And now they have the utility to contest Nana. They will go for it, but TYLOO not dropping a single grenade here for now.
Giving up banana at the start. You have some control of carpets. Beaver being given a lot of responsibility, just jump spotting and shoulder peeking. Does see slowly taking that banana control and will fall off the angle while Invictus have 4 on the A site. But Viva doing a good job right now anchoring this B site. He's holding on to all of his utility, not dropping that smoke too early. There's the jungle wrap smoke from TYLOO, which will get CSGO off the line there.
Oh, Destroyer gets picked apart, and that's actually the AWP that's going to be dropped. Viva's still shoulder spotting it, but CSGO can't double down, unfortunately, and now the wrap smoke really being realized. Viva just caught between multiple angles at the stage and trying to give it as good as he can get, but Flying's the last man left standing. 35 seconds. Both TYLOO members actually have to engage on one-on-one aim duels.
Yeah.
Bomb lost in CT. This is winnable for Flying.
He knows exactly where they were. He knows Dan King was over towards Dig earlier, but Dan King's just holding the line, and that's going to be it for TYLOO.
Yep, TYLOO 16-4.